Well, hello everyone to this first of 4 BVA town halls where we'll be able to discuss the upcoming 78th National Convention. I'm Tim Hornick, Chief of Staff here at the BVA, and today's town hall is going to be the general broad overview for the BVA convention, which will include an overview of the schedule as well as a brief overview of what the convention site looks like for us as we arrive there, and we'll be interacting with the buildings that we'll be occupying. There is going to be a question and answer session towards the end of the presentation where you'll be able to answer and ask any questions that you might have related to the 78th National Convention. And just for all of you guys wondering, when is the National Convention? It will be the week of August 14th in St. Louis, and Meredith will be providing more of that information here. So with that stated, I would like to thank everyone for joining, and I will hand things over to Meredith to go and get us started with hearing about the 70th National Convention, what to expect, the schedule, and other good pieces of information to know as we arrive.
No pressure, right? So hello, everybody. This is extremely exciting. And I'm going to have Teresa assist me as well so that she can keep me honest and that you don't have to hear my voice for the entire time. But I thought it would be best if we kind of go through convention in kind of a timeline order. So the first thing that I want to go over is registration. So currently, I have about 86 member reservations. So if you have not registered for convention yet, I beg of you to please register ASAP. And you can do that through the BVA website at bva.org. If you go up to the right-hand corner, you can just click on events and click on National Convention, and it will give you all of the information for convention, how to register. You can now register for offsites as well. For those who registered early, that may not have been the case. So if you have registered and did not register for offsites, I implore you to go back online and do that. So that would kind of be in the order of things. So that's number one, registration. The other thing is that because there are things that we need to order in terms of t-shirts and things like that, we really have to adhere to a strict deadline. So we're asking that people please register by July 21st. And that goes for registration for convention as well as making your hotel reservation. If you would like to make your hotel reservation, I don't think Tim mentioned this, but the convention is occurring at the Marriott St. Louis Grand on 800 Washington Avenue. So that information is also on the website. If you need to make reservations for the hotel, you can do that two ways. You can call the number that we have on the website, or there's a link on there where you can use that link to register. The code for that is Blinded Vets BVA, and you should be receiving a $126 rate. If you have a service dog coming with you and the hotel tells you that they cannot accommodate, that is not correct. You can absolutely bring your service dog. So if you encounter that problem, I need to know right away. So my information is also on the website. If you need help registering, you're having a little bit of trouble, please feel free to call me or email me, and I'm happy to help. I'm happy to accept payment over the phone, yada, yada, yada. So what happens now when you get to convention? So before you get to convention, you have to get to the hotel. We are still working on transportation options. I have not heard back from the DAV yet, who is going to be possibly helping us with transportation from the airport to the hotel on Sunday and then back from the hotel to the airport. That is to be determined. So right now, the way to get to the hotel, the best way would be taxi or Uber. There is a shuttle at the airport. However, the shuttle stops 3 blocks from the hotel, which is obviously not convenient if you have luggage. So if, that is the case, the other option is if you are registered through your ADA for transportation. I will let Teresa explain that because I know she did the research on that.
Yes, if you're registered with ADA in your city or your county, then you know what I'm talking about. Some of you don't have that option where you live, but if you do and you are registered, you can transfer your authorization to St. Louis ADA, and we'll have the number on the website for you to call to, the number to fax that information to the St. Louis ADA. And once they get that information, they will contact you and ask you about the dates that you're coming to St. Louis. And then you can arrange transportation from the airport to the hotel with them. The cost is $2 for the ride. And you can also get them to take you anywhere in St. Louis as long as you call the day before. That's all they ask. It's 24/7. They operate 24 hours a day in St. Louis. So you don't have to worry if you're arriving for whatever reason at 2 a.m. There is also a taxi if you're in a wheelchair and you don't have ADA. We'll put the number of an accessible cab service that you can reserve like the day before. Did I leave anything out?
Nope. I think that's it.
And I have ADA transportation. I've had my local ADA transport fax the information to St. Louis. So I am actually testing this out. They faxed it and I am just waiting to hear back from them.
Okay. So if you are driving, so hot off the press yesterday, we learned, so the hotel, in terms of parking, it is $35 per day, which is also for the overnight price as well. We get a little bit of a discount, but it works out to about $34. There is another parking garage that we learned of. It's an open parking lot, which is actually monitored by a local sheriff. And that is 2 blocks. They say it's about a 2-minute walk from the Marriott. And that's on 901 Lucas Avenue. And that information will also be put out in the bulletin as well as on the website. They have a parking lot, which is $10. So that is a big difference. So when we spoke to them yesterday, that is the pricing that they gave us. You also can download an app on your phone once you go there and you pay if you are driving and you're paying for your parking, where you do not have to return to your vehicle. So you can actually pay from your phone so that you don't have to keep going back to your vehicle every day if you're not using it. But I feel like that is a lot better than the $35 price that we got at the hotel. We laughed because we said the hotel didn't give us that information, but we probably know that they probably lose money if, they tell us about that. But it is 901 Lucas Avenue. So that is the closest parking garage and I believe the cheapest parking garage. And I say garage, but it is an outdoor lot. So now you're at the hotel. So what can you expect?
Meredith,
yes.
I don't know we said this, but the Uber and taxi rides from the airport, they're about $30 to $50.
They are.
Okay.
They are correct, depending on time of day and yada, yada, yada. But I believe that it's 13 miles from the airport to the hotel.
Yes.
So now, Tim, I'll let you maybe get into geographics of the hotel a little bit later if we feel like that's necessary, but I'm just going to quickly go through the tentative schedule of events for the week. So many people are arriving on Sunday, some are not. So Sunday, we will have BVA registration open from about 1 to 5 right now. That's what's on the schedule. Come Monday is kind of when we start everything. There will be a welcome orientation and the opening of the Bow Wow Lounge. So this year we will have a Bow Wow Lounge for the service dogs, which is sponsored by Waymo and PetSmart. And PetSmart in the St. Louis district, about 8 stores are actually working on goodie bags for each of our ambassador dogs, as Teresa likes to call them. And so PetSmart will be helping us, as well as Waymo. And then Waymo will also be creating signs that we can put in the dog bags that you can hang on the outside of your hotel room to let the staff know that you have a service dog inside. And so the Bow Wow Lounge will be open every day, Monday through Friday, from 9 to 5. And it is a respite area for our dogs. So something important to keep in mind is that it's, it's not kind of a, run in and have everybody come in and pet the dogs. It is a respite area for the service dogs to get a much needed break. And so that opens on Monday. And then followed by that, we will have registration open all day on Monday from 9 to 5. And then we will have a service dog walk. It's kind of an unofficial dog walk that we have open to everybody. Some of our sponsors will be joining us on that, as well as anybody who wants to attend. And that will happen from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. Then at the end of the day, we have our first offsite trip, rolling on the riverboat cruise, which includes a 3-course meal and entertainment. So that is Monday night. Teresa, I don't know if there's anything you want to add to that about that particular offsite.
Yeah, we'll start gathering in the lobby about 6 to get to the boat, the riverboat, which will depart at 7 p.m. and it's a 2-hour cruise. And the meal will give you a small piece of chicken and a small piece of beef. So everybody is accommodated. And we'll have some famous St. Louis jazz.
And also Jeannie's clapping. Jeannie Murphy. So we also will be able to accommodate dietary issues and vegetarian options as well. The hospitality suite will open that night. We will be determining what hours with the Heartland Regional Group, who is hosting the hospitality suite. And also thank you to the board of directors who is helping to contribute to that hospitality suite as well. And so we will be posting those hours shortly. I will work that out with the Heartland Regional Group. That brings us into Tuesday. So Tuesday morning, new this year, we will have an exhibitor breakfast that is open to BVA members as well. This gives us a great opportunity to speak to our sponsors and tell them about BVA. So that will be happening Tuesday morning. Again, Bow Wow Lounge will be opening, and then our first offsite trip for the day from 9 a.m. to 11:30 will be an offsite trip to the Missouri Botanical Garden, and that is sponsored by Oracle Health. Transportation will be provided, so we'll meet in the lobby at 9 a.m. And for those of you who have not joined the other calls, Chihuly, which is a very famous hand-blown glass artist, will be featured during that time at the Botanical Garden. So it's great, and you will enjoy a tram tour when you are there. Then we have the exhibit hall, which opens on Tuesday, which will be 9:30 to 5:30. New back this year, backed by popular demand, we will have exhibit hall bingo that will be going on all day. We have lots of prizes and angel sponsorships for reimbursement for some people who win that. So we are currently collecting those prize giveaways from many of our sponsors who wanted to contribute to that. The Million Veterans Program blood draw will be going on as well during the day. We will also have a nurse on site as for those 5 days, as we have done in the past. We will also be doing a lunch and learn that is sponsored by Way Around, and there's more information to come on that because they will have a downloadable app that will help you navigate through the hotel, which can be a little tricky because we're looking at two different buildings. We have the hotel side and then we have the convention side. From 1:15 to 3:30, we have the Anheuser-Busch Brewery Tour. Transportation will be provided, and we know that that will go into the Rules and Credentials Committee meeting. So we'll make sure that anybody who needs to attend that meeting, just let us know if you need to attend that meeting. We'll make sure that you're on the first tour rather than the second tour. And then Tuesday night is our president's reception cocktail hour and dinner sponsored by Orcam. After that, we will also have the hospitality suite open, hosted by the Heartland Regional Group. Wednesday morning from 7:30 to 8:45 is the ambassador ceremony. So that is going to be sponsored by Orcam. Very important. Whoever attends that, the participants will be the executive committee and ambassadors only for that breakfast. The exhibit hall will open earlier that morning, so it'll be an 8 to 5:30 exhibit hall open because the VA will be doing an early morning product evaluation as they go through the booths in the exhibit hall. Bow Wow Lounge is open. Exhibit hall, again, is open all day. Opening business meetings start at 10 a.m. And then we have a lunch and learn sponsored by Oracle Health that will happen from 12 to 1:30. That will be open to all members as well. Nominations, bylaws, and resolutions. And then I know we have some other small group meetings in the late afternoon. So women veterans, dog handlers as well. Offsite trip that night will be Flamingo Bowl. And that is sponsored by Humanware as well as Foreseeable Future Foundation. So that trip starts promptly from 6:30 to 10. Because the Flamingo Bowl is so close to the hotel, we will be walking there. So we will be separating into groups. We will have volunteers as well as the sponsors that will walk us over to Flamingo Bowl. We've got 8 lanes reserved for us, and we have a meal that will be included as well. And then after that, if we're still all alive and our hearts are beating, we will have the hospitality suite open for a short period of time. But we get in pretty late, so we'll have to look at that timing. Again, we'll discuss that with Heartland. Thursday morning, we have a tentative good breakfast scheduled. We don't have a sponsor for that yet, so we're going to see what happens. Bow Wow Lounge is happening. And then starting at 9 a.m. general BVA session with in conjunction with the VA. So we have some topics. I don't know if I need to go through all of them, but we have BRS, prosthetic and sensory aids, living whole health, 508 accessibility. And so those end at about 12:15. And then we go into the Father Carol lunch at 12:30 to 2. So again, that is sponsored by DOT. So that again is Thursday. And then we have some meetings after that, along with the district caucus meetings. That night from 5:30 on will be you're on your own. So we'll give you a list of things that you can do, but these are kind of off-site opportunities for you to go explore St. Louis on your own, and or the hospitality suite as well. Friday night, then we get into Friday morning, we have closing business meetings, Bow Wow Lounge, there will be a board meeting, and then that night we have the cocktail reception and the awards banquet from cocktail reception 5 to 6, awards banquet 6 to 9, and the hospitality suite that night. So that takes us through the whole week.
That was fast.
It was fast. Didn't it go fast?
So the for a recap, for example, the meals, the lunch and learns are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So lunch is taken care of for members Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Okay. And then they're on their own for dinner on Thursday night.
Correct.
Okay, and that's the only dinner that they will have to take care of if they're participating in the offsites.
Correct.
And how much are the offsites per person?
How much are the offsites? The offsites are $5 per person. So again, you can go on the website and you can register for those offsites. Just some general questions that we always get. Refrigerators. So there are refrigerators in every room for medications. We covered the transportation from the airport to the hotel. The offsite activity buses will be wheelchair accessible. We will have volunteers at the airport and the train station to help people get from where they are arriving to the hotel. And then also in terms of regional groups for advertising in the program, because this has come up a lot recently. So yes, we are still taking advertisements in for the convention program. You would need to send those to me. And full page is $100, half a page is $50, and the deadline for that is June 20th.
Now, Meredith, you said that we're in two different buildings. How do we get from our hotel building to the convention building?
Okay, so first, what I'd like to say is for the dog relief area, there are two of them.
Okay.
So one will be on St. Charles Street. The other will be on Washington Avenue, which is right outside the Bow Wow Lounge. Tim, you were able to do the site visit. So if you just kind of want to go over a little bit of the layout of the hotel, that would be helpful.
Yes. So good thing about the convention site this year is that it's in St. Louis. It's in the downtown area. So it's a grid system of streets. And the reason why I'm saying that's a good thing is when we talk about getting and navigating between the two buildings, the hotel main part that we'll all be staying in, and then the convention area, it's relatively easy to get there through a couple of different methods. So let me just first walk folks through the entire site as it will come to you as you arrive. So when you first arrive into the hotel through the main entrance, that's going to be the main hotel. That's going to be roughly off of 8th and Washington is where you're going to get dropped off at. When you walk in through those doors is where we'll have a desk with a volunteer during the week to assist folks with navigating the lobby, as well as there's going to be the concierge service through the hotel that will be available to assist individuals with being able to navigate definitely the main lobby and that main part of the hotel area. Within that hotel area, roughly at your 10 o'clock, when you walk in through those front doors, is going to be the main check-in desk for the hotel. There's two elevator banks that will take you up to your rooms. As you walk in through those front doors facing the inside of the hotel, on your left side at your 9 o'clock will be the elevator banks that get to use from floors 2nd floor to 8th floor. And then for those on floors 9 through 22, those will be on your right. And the dog relief area, number one that Meredith just mentioned for St. Charles, is going to be past that hotel front lobby desk. Now, the reason why I'm saying that this is a grid area is that you don't need to navigate through the hotel to get to, say, that dog relief area. You can go out those front doors, hang a right, go over St. Charles, which is all about 100 feet, hang a right from there. And about 200 feet down that street is going to be where that first service dog relief area is. But a little bit further down that street is also where you have one of the parking garages. Now, to get over to the main convention area of the hotel, there's two ways that you can do it. There's a concourse that you can take one of those elevator banks, whether you're on floors 2nd through 8, or if you're on floors 9 through 22, down to the lower level or concourse. And that concourse is just a straight path that goes underneath the buildings, underneath the street, and connects you over to the main convention part. There's also escalators on the main lobby floor past the front check-in desk for the hotel that you can take to go downstairs. And there's also that escalator at the other end that takes you up into the landmark area of the convention. There's also elevators on that side too. The other way that you can possibly take to go and get over to the main convention site is, once again, you can walk out those front doors of the lobby, hang a left, go over to Washington, which is all about 50 to 75 feet, hang a left. And these are short blocks. So you just go down a block, cross over what basically is 9th Street. That basically is just a alleyway between the two, the hotel and the convention area. Go down about another 200 feet on your left is going to be the main entrance to the convention area. That door is going to be open for us, so we'll be able to access it. The second service animal relief area that's attached to the Bow Wow Lounge is a little bit further as you're walking down Washington, by about another 200 feet. And there is also a door to get into the convention area over by the Bow Wow Lounge that has that other service animal relief area on the sidewalk. For those that are using service animals, please understand that service animal relief areas are going to be primarily on concrete because there are no grass areas. A little bit further down the streets, there are some planters with trees that you'll be able to use. And just a couple of other points, you heard Meredith mention about us doing the walk. That walk on Monday morning is a quick, about 6.5 block walk over to the Gateway National Park down Washington Street, which is a very easy to navigate area for those individuals that just want to do a nice, pleasant walk in the morning during the time that you're at the convention. There's also a lot of other nice areas and establishments on Washington Street, all within a couple of blocks of the hotel, one being kitty corner from us on Washington Street. The bowling alley that Meredith mentioned is a block and a half past the convention as you're heading west on Washington on the northwest side of the street. So it's a very nice area. Everything that we need to do and access is very quick to get to from the hotel and the convention area. And the key thing just to keep in mind is most likely what you're looking for is off of Washington Street while you're there. So.
Okay.
Meredith, handing it over to you again.
Okay, so I'd actually like to open it up for questions now. If we could, this is just some general information. But I'd love to answer questions that people have.
So for the question piece, what I am going to ask people to do is please use the raise hand feature. So on if those of you that's on a Windows computer, you can do that by using Alt-Y. And for those on a Mac computer, you can go ahead and use Option Y to go and unmute yourself. When we call on you, it's just going to be a manner of hitting Alt-A on your Windows computer, and it's going to be Command-Shift-A on your Mac, and then the appropriate buttons on your iOS device. We'll start calling up people and asking you to unmute at that time.
Yeah, Tim, you want me to run air traffic control for you? It's Don.
If you want to, I was just hopping over into that screen as I was making that spiel. So
yeah, I'll jump in and help you. So Yannicka Trent's the first up. Yannicka, if you wouldn't mind unmuting, ma'am.
Hi, yes, this is Yannicka Trent. I only needed to know what was the hours for the doggy Bow Wow room each day.
So the Bow Wow Lounge is going to be open during business hours, Monday to Friday, basically 9 till 5, and we'll have a volunteer there.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I just answered that, but realized I was on mute. So
Yeah.
sorry about that. Don, you want to call?
Yeah, Scott.
Thank you.
Scott Szynski.
Hey, it's Scott from San Diego Regional Group. Last year there was a special deal for breakfast to offset
Yes,
the
there was.
outrageous cost.
There was a BVA breakfast. I am still working with the hotel. They're getting me menus. And so it looks like we may have a $16 breakfast, but I'm trying to get that down because I believe last year we had the $13 breakfast. So I am waiting for menus from the hotel. So more news to follow, but that is absolutely on my list, Scott, because I remember that very well. So there is the cafe in there is the Xenia Cafe. So I'm going to be working with them as well as the chef to see on the side of our scheduled breakfasts, what are the other options and can we have a cheaper type of meal set up? So more to follow on that, but thank you for the reminder.
I just hope we have chicken options this year.
I know you want lots of, I know everybody wants more chicken.
And a couple other things about the breakfast and other food options is there is a lot of good options in the nearby area. Within the hotel, there is a little Starbucks. There is a quick little grab and go type place that's in the main lobby area. But as I said, just right outside the door, because we are not far off from the main business district. Actually, we're probably in the main business district for St. Louis. There is a lot of good establishments, and there's going to be plenty of options for when you get there to see what might be available. So
Yeah, I
check it out.
still want to work with the hotel to see if we can do what we did last year, because I found that to be very convenient for people where they could just go down and order the BVA breakfast. And it was a nice spread for $13. So I will be working with the hotel on that.
All right, next up is Miss Jeannie Murphy. Jeannie.
Okay. In regards to DAV transportation, I too am working with him, I think Michael and Corinne.
Yes.
Yes. And just last weekend, they had their convention in Missouri. So sorry about not getting back to you in regards to him not getting back to you. I can talk with you offline about that. I do have a couple of questions. And maybe if you don't want to talk about this now, that's.
You're on mute, Jeannie. Jeannie, you're on mute.
Yes. Someone didn't want me to talk because I unmuted myself. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Did you hear me talk about the DAV transportation?
Yes.
Okay, I will. So we can talk about that. I've got a direct number to call this afternoon, and I can shoot you an email when I'm done, or
Great.
if you want to call him as well, it doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Great.
In regards to, they were in convention last weekend. So I just got that update. In regards to the hospitality suite, for some reason, I thought it was Tuesday through Friday. However, looking at Wednesday, getting back late, that's going to be, the bowling is going to be to 10. And I understand that not everyone is going to go to that. Could we look at not having that
Absolutely.
if most everyone is out at 10, I just don't see it the right thing
I
to
agree.
do.
I agree. So what we will do offline, Jeannie, is we will work out the hours that work best for the Heartland Regional Group. We'll work those out.
Perfect.
It'll be open when it's open. And we have to also make sure that we are not conflicting with any of the events that are going on. So offline, we will absolutely work out. That is a tentative schedule that will change according to what you guys want.
Perfect. And we can sure that up by the end of the week. Give me a deadline. I work better on those. So let's get that done by Friday. I can give you what my thoughts are on that.
Yep.
Then I have notes that I think that's all for now. I think you answered on the bowling. There is a meal. Did you say?
Yes, there is a meal. Meal is included
Okay, I think
on that $5 price.
Perfect. I was just in a meeting today where I had 4 people, and I'm not normally on that meeting on Tuesdays anymore. And 4 individuals were not BVA members and wanted to know more, as Joe and I both talked about our convention coming up. So I wanted to make sure sure of that so that we can offer them what all is coming, because they just don't know. All right, that's
Yeah.
all I had though. Thank you.
Okay,
All right, Mr. Stephen Butler, sir, please go ahead and unmute.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks. I think this is going to tag right on to the last statement. I'm just curious, do we have anything happening or anything going on in or around the hotel to help keep guests or non-BVA members busy or interested while the BVA members are off doing their business?
well, I would say that the offsites, are you talking about, let's say, spouses and things like that?
Yeah, things that I know they're going to be taking part in the offsites, but like, for example, during the actual business meeting and that kind of thing.
We have a couple of things in the works that we're working on right now. We actually may have on one day, I think on Wednesday, a caregiver meeting and things that are open for the spouses. I'm just waiting to finalize that.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And Steve, there's a couple of museums that's literally less than a block away that folks can access. I think there's like a jazz museum and some other cool things. So it is a really nice area. As the biggest thing is the Gateway National Park that has St. Louis Arch is literally, I did it with my two kids at 9 o'clock at night when they're all nice and grouchy. We did that walk in about 12 minutes. So it's not that far of a walk at all. So there's a lot of cool things for other folks that's accompanying us to the convention to get engaged with that's outside of it if they just want to go through the area. It is it's a very clean area. As if we were walking there at 9, 10 o'clock at nighttime, no heebie-jeebies or anything like that. It was a very clean, nice downtown area. In fact, when we were walking through is when they were doing the cleaning up of the streets and the sidewalks and everything. And this was non-tourist season either. So it's just a very nice setting downtown area that they'll enjoy.
It's always nice to have volunteers too. So if any of the spouses want to help, they're happy to do that. I know it's probably a vacation for them, but I know we have 1 or 2 things that we are working on aside from the offsites.
And just so everybody knows as well, the Cardinals are in town then, so there's baseball in the area as well. But without further ado, the esteemed, my regional group president, Madam President Michonne Harrison, it's your floor, ma'am.
Yes, good afternoon. Will we be having the BVAA auxiliary auction, silent auction this year?
We will not be.
So there won't be a silent auction at all?
There will not be a silent auction.
Okay, thank you.
As of now, but there are going to be, again, you have the exhibit hall, which has the prize giveaways. So that is actually open to our members. So they can't bid on an auction item, but there are going to be some extra prize giveaways that we have.
Mr. Miranda Eduardo, it's your floor, sir.
Thank you, Don. This is Eduardo Miranda, president of the Charles Register Regional Group. Don, you must have read my mind because I'm a baseball fanatic. And since Thursday is going to be an open date, is that possibly a night game?
Eddie, I'll get up with you.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll get up with you.
An
I'll pull
afternoon
it
game.
And
Thursday is afternoon.
Yes.
It's like 5 o'clock afternoon. It's because we were looking at that as a possible alternative
Yes.
to the bowling, and it's like 5. It starts somewhere between like 5 to 7 o'clock. So it is not going to be occurring during normal business stuff. So if you want to watch people hitting a round circular object with a wooden club, go for it.
okay, now how far away is the hotel from the stadium? Because obviously, since it's a free night, that would involve us providing our own transportation. That's 1. 2, how far away is the hotel from the Mississippi River?
I could tell you for the Mississippi River part, because Mississippi River is right there, part of Gateway National Park. You're about 6 to 8 blocks. Yeah, I mean, just walk out the door, start heading east. When you get wet, you might have gone too far. Where the Cardinals play, I remember doing this in the past. It's not that far away, but you probably need to Uber over to the park. It's not like a quick, simple walk over. It's just outside that normal walking distance.
Thank you very much for that info, because for some of us, it's still bucket list item to get to as many stadiums as
Yeah.
possible.
Yeah,
And you know what, too, Eduardo, if you, I can send this information out to you too. There's a visitor's guide that they have on Explore St. Louis that has, it has a map, but it also has these types of things. And so we will be getting together some of that information too, to eventually post on the website to give you some ideas for Thursday night. And I know that when Tim and I were talking, I know that we knew there was a game, which is the other reason why we kind of had Thursday night be an open night.
Outstanding.
Yeah,
So far, so good.
Eddie,
Great planning.
Eddie, it gets even better. If Don can jump in, I just pulled the calendar while we're up. So you've got the New York Mets, and that start time is going to be at 6:15 p.m. on the Thursday night. So it fits perfectly. But some of us are probably going to go, so we'll coordinate.
If I can just butt in for just a moment, I didn't raise my hand. I apologize. But Eduardo, I wanted to tell you, St. Louis is a big baseball city, and they love their Cardinals, and you'll have a great time there.
That's why our t-shirt is Cardinal red this year.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are going to have a good time. I hope a lot of people jump into that. Okay, thank you, Eddie. Wanda, Director Grover, ma'am, your floor.
Yes, good afternoon. And I just, because I have had some questions about not having enough information on the website. So, you know, we have all of the off-duty things on the website, but we don't have the BVA things. And I know we're worried about, you know, whoever comes with us, but, you know, the Father Carol's luncheon, the timing for the meetings and those things.
Yep.
How soon will all of that be up on the website?
So the schedule has been sent to the executive committee. Once they give their blessing, we can then post that schedule up. So the schedule's about 99% done. I'm just waiting for that blessing so that we can then post the schedule.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Good question.
Well, I don't know. Do you guys
Jeannie.
want to hear from Jeannie again?
Yes, we'll hear from Jeannie.
You sure? Because we
Yeah,
can keep her on perpetual mute.
She's getting us free drinks, so we have to say
Okay,
yes.
Miss Jeannie Murphy.
Thank you so much. Hey, thank you. This is going back because I was writing down the questions that I had in regards to the BVA members that have guests that are sighted guides or spouses to do during the day. And we're talking during the day, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for when we are in our BVA meetings. I appreciate the caregiver meeting. Would there be others other than the exhibitors? I know that Robert enjoyed getting around talking to the exhibitors and looking at those items. But also when we were in Tulsa, there were a couple of different times on things he could go to while I was in the business meeting. Will there be anything other than perhaps, which, and that, I'm not downing that at all, please don't get me wrong, in regards to the caregivers, or would there be something else for the spouses or sighted guides to sit in on during those times?
Tim, would it be suitable for those accessibility group, the 508 ones that we're planning?
They can.
Okay.
So just, so one part, Jeannie, to answer your question is we're not planning any specific off-site excursions for caregivers and family members and guests to go to while y'all be locked up in those rooms, talking about the business of the organization. But there are just a couple other things that's occurring. I mean, we still got things like the Million Veteran Project that's doing the DNA testing that some of our dual service spouses can do. There's going to be a series of 4 to Section 508 team and the VA's Office of Informational Technology team are going to be out here co-located with our convention doing what they're calling road shows, which is a chance for veterans and caregivers to be able to talk with the people that's in charge of making sure that all the sites and everything is usable for all of us. to be able to use. And I'm using the word use in this case in its most open case of the word that I can, because it's just not accessibility, it's how usable these sites are. And many of our spouses are the ones that are interfacing with the websites, with the apps on our behalves. And so this is a good chance for even them to go and say, hey, look, I'm trying to use it and it's a pain. So those times for those activities will be 2 on Tuesday, which will be at, Meredith could correct me when I'm wrong.
I have that. So
10
we
to
have
11:30,
Tuesday,
and
10 to
then
11:30.
14:30 to 1600.
So we 10 to 11:30 on Tuesday, 2:30 to 4 on Tuesday, and then on Wednesday and Thursday, 2:30 to 4 on each of those days. And I actually did not announce those on the schedule. They're on the schedule. I did not announce those to this group, and I should have.
And that's fine. It's just so everyone knows. Yeah, they're open to everyone to go to. Anyone that interfaces with the VA digitally, this is your chance to talk to them, both as members, as individuals with disabilities, our caregivers, our family. We're going to be sharing this information with the local VA there in St. Louis and Jeff City, so that they're going to be able to also go and take part and be able to ask some of these folks some of the main questions about utilizing these services and tools. Because so it just needs to happen. And this is a long running conversation that we here at the BVA and the VA have been having. And this is why we want to make sure that anyone can go to it. So, but as far as the other things like we did in Tulsa, no, not some of that type of stuff, sorry. But Rob is just a few blocks down from where there's this big, huge statue of a bull and a bear that he can go into that building. I'm sure he'll have some fun there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a slew of things to do. And again, that's why I think we'll post, they have just updated the Explore St. Louis Visitor Guide, and that pretty much gives you kind of all the different things to go on. And also on their website, they have an excellent website with all that information. So if somebody wanted to do something outside of the hotel, that's a great resource that I've been using.
There is a caregiver session being put together as well, though, correct?
Yeah, we did announce that. Yes. So that's,
okay.
that looks like that's going to happen tentatively on Wednesday. So we're just finalizing that, which is why I just didn't give you the day, but yes.
Perfect.
Thank
Are
you.
you
Thank
good,
you,
Jeannie?
Tim. I was shaking my head. Yes, yes. I was just shaking my head and I wanted Tim to know that. I thought that was done with me. Sorry.
Perfect. Okay, and now drum roll, please. Your national treasurer, Mr. Tracy Sparrow.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Tracy.
Is there a possibility, are we looking at possibly for the Friday evening banquet, having music and possibility for dancing at that event also?
Well, when we looked into, we were looking into that, and that unfortunately fell through. So there is a cost involved with that to get the AV and things like that. Not to say that we can't look at something else as a way to get music. Brian O'Connell, I know, has definitely offered up his services to play some music himself on his trumpet. So again, I know that Monday night we'll have music on the riverboat cruise, but Friday, again, it's something I feel like we have always been missing. Not that I've been to so many conventions, but I feel like, music would be a great thing to add. We thought we had it locked down, and unfortunately that fell through. So we're open to other, I know Tim was looking into 1 or 2 other options.
Yes. Yeah. We're still looking into options. The goal was Tuesday, morning Friday, for that type of situation.
Well, look, it's Don. I've been to New Orleans before, and I know how to play a really mean washboard at this point. So I'm happy to entertain. If Brian wants to get, out there and blow that horn, I'll get a washboard on and we'll go to town.
In Tulsa, I don't know, they linked into the PA system on a cell phone and have playlists there. So I don't know if that's a capability.
Well, I feel like that should be a capability. And so I would like to, because I feel like we need to have some dancing, we need to be able to let loose a little bit. And so, you know, that shouldn't be too hard. So we can explore that, Tracy, because I think it's something that's needed. And I think it's something that a lot of people have asked for. Brian, were you going to say something, Brian?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, the more the merrier, as long as we, as long as you all.
Wait, hang on, Brian, hang on. Okay, go ahead, Brian.
Okay, good. Yeah, the more the merrier, as long as you all blend together. And I think there might be a vocalist in our group too, Meredith, so I hear. Potentially, anyway.
Yes, Brian and I are maybe planning on something, but you know, nobody wants to hear me. They want to hear, you know, good people. So, you know, I think we can look into that. I see you, Tim. But I think it's a valid point. So let's see what we can do, because I know last year, I think Elizabeth Holmes had brought it up, and I thought that there was a way that we could just plug into the sound system on Friday night and at least have a playlist so that we can dance.
Well, I'm going to follow up on what Brian said. And for those that are not aware, Meredith comes from a distinguished musical family, her father being a professional, and Meredith sings as well. So when you do your convention registrations, make sure that you put in the notes section that you will cancel your registration and participation unless Meredith performs at convention this year. So no pressure, man. Carlos, Mr. Pere, RG president from Florida. Sir, the floor is yours.
Carlos, before you speak, I just want to let you know that Israel beat you to the punch and registered before you.
I know he did. I went ahead and gave him the information. But I'm so proud of him. He was able to, you know, be independent, and I mean, he had a little help from someone else too as well.
Yes.
But I said, hey, here you go. You gotta kind of learn how to you know, maneuver and you know, register yourself. But you know, I left it open where I said, you know, if we need any more help, let me know. But I'm glad that he reached out.
I was going to call you because the only thing he did not register for were the offsites. And so I just wanted to follow up, but he did such a good job. I was so proud of him. And I immediately thought of you when it came through.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. I'll reach out to him, and I downloaded the PDF of all of the, you know, offsite events and everything. So I'll go through it with him. That way, when he speaks with you, that way he already has some type of knowledge of what's going on.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have two things. To the dancing part, basically all you need to do is drag a Bluetooth speaker somewhere and just have, you know, the space where you're going to do the dancing. I think Tracy wants to show off his sprinkler moves, you know.
Shopping cart.
I will actually be bringing a Bluetooth speaker that has a Bluetooth microphone for use up in the hospitality suite and or wherever we need it.
Yes.
So it does work very well for that.
Yeah, so we've done that in the past ourselves here at the state convention. So we usually use it in the hospitality room, and we do a little bit of vibing there, and you know, it works. Also, another a little bit of an input while navigating the website in, you know, the area where has the information of where to click. A lot of those hyperlinks are not in a different color. And I think there's one at the very top where it speaks about the updates, right? That's been announced as of late. There's a click here button or option there, and that one doesn't work. So you have to kind of navigate a little bit lower. I've been getting phone calls on that, and I have to let them know, hey, navigate a little bit lower, and there's going to be a couple of links there.
Okay, wait a minute. Okay, I'm just looking. I'm looking at that, so I want to make sure that we correct that. Where exactly is it on the home page or is it on the convention?
Convention page.
Okay, so on the national convention page.
yes, on the very top, the first paragraph kind of describing about the updates, and it says click here. Maybe you won't be able to see it. Maybe it is just coming up on when we're using voiceover.
Yeah, because it's
or
clicking
Zoom
on my
text.
end. It's clicking on my end, but that doesn't mean anything. So Don, are you looking at that?
Give me a minute, Meredith.
Okay,
Just not seeing where that link is.
I'm not either. The hotel, so it has the pictures, Carlos, of the National Convention is coming. And then below that, it has the hotel is offering, blah, 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 and then there's a clickable link there. Then there's also another clickable link in the next paragraph, but I'm not seeing where you're talking about.
Okay, let me see if I can pull it up. I mean, you can take another question in the meantime while I pull this up.
Yeah,
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 and,
Carlos. Yeah, just let me
yeah.
know. Yeah, jump
right.
back in. We had somebody that came in 2 times with iPad 2,
yeah.
and they've lowered their hand each time. So if you know that you, or if you had your hand up, please go ahead and unmute and ask your question.
Hello, that wasn't me. I assume they're not coming. This is Eric from Illinois Regional Group, Cosby. I
Go
like
ahead,
to
Eric.
ask a question.
Hi, Eric.
Okay, yeah. Hello, everyone. My question is attire. How you guys think we should, dress, and if it's like one particular occasion where we, spiff it up a little bit? What you guys think?
That is a very good question and something that has come up. So that is, I'm not gonna take that. Don, I don't know if you want to, because that's.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind. Historically, traditionally, it is more of a formal event. The Friday night event is typically a bit more formal than the other sessions. So it's really kind of business casual, comfortable. Being comfortable is the most important thing throughout convention. So for a lot of us, that's a polo shirt, a pair of slacks, but all are welcome. So it's really a matter of where you're comfortable. Now, what you don't want to do is be in a situation where you feel uncomfortable for like that Friday night event. So again, most people like to, kind of snazz it up then. Obviously, the president's
Gotcha.
reception is another opportunity.
Mhm.
If you enjoy to put on nicer attire, those are 2 really good opportunities. Most of the offsites, again, bowling, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the other areas. So recommendations, but
Gotcha.
again, we want everybody to feel welcome and part of this family. So it's really your discretion. You're going to be welcome at every event, every venue, regardless, as long as you have something on.
Exactly.
John.
No nudity, huh?
Yeah.
I'm out.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have
that's the national-
standards.
Well, that's a national president. So this is a national president now, Mr. McNeil, sir. Go ahead. Thank you for jumping on this, Joe.
At the president's reception and the banquet, no shorts, no jeans, no sneakers, no cutoffs, no t-shirt.
There you go.
Somebody just asked this question, are Hawaiian shirts all right? And it was not Tracy.
No.
Okay.
The voice of authority.
This is Tim to hijack that conversation to make things go back to the wonderful light and fluffy side of things again. So Carlos, I just looked over the webpage and I'm wondering what the people might not be encountering as they come across some of those buttons. Are the buttons that expand into 2 additional things? So you click on the button that says more information, and below that is when it drops off, open the PDF or open a Word document, where they're thinking it's supposed to be popping up when it's like, no, you have to navigate, because that button just expands what's underneath it. So I'm wondering if that might not be the case when people see those buttons and they're clicking it and it's like nothing's happening. It's like, well, it is. It's just you have to, with the screen reader, navigate one more level to get to where the documents, the downloads are.
Yeah, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that's one of the issues, but also I'm at the page right now where the very top says BVA 78th National Convention. let me see here, additional updates. And then the paragraph right underneath that, and I don't know if it's maybe the mobile layout, because I know sometimes desktop and mobile are two different things. So when you're in that paragraph where it just mentions, click here for the letter, that's, I'm clicking on it right now and it doesn't go anywhere.
Okay.
And it's
Oh,
I'm kind of,
Yeah, and so that's what I'll describe with the letter, 'cause I'll just click it on it right now, and there's supposed to be 2 additional links that pop up. I don't know if it's below it or next to it. Visual
It's a
people.
download. It's a.
Yeah, but where does it appear visually? Is it below it or to the right of it? I don't know that part. I just know it appears
It's
after.
it's downloading onto your computer. It doesn't pop open. So it's doing a secret download that you can't see.
oh, well,
When I
see,
did it,
it's,
it downloaded onto my computer. And then when I click the download, it opens up.
Well, it's
Yeah,
really
so
weird because I'm
it's
clicking on that and it's working. I just click
not
on it
on,
to
not
download
everybody's computer, just so everybody knows,
browser.
every device, whatever you're accessing it on, you're gonna have a different experience. So for me, for security purposes, Microsoft Word documents, when I click on the doc link, it's gonna open up top to let me know that there's a pending download, to Teresa's point. PDFs will typically open up in live time on the computer because they have security features embedded in them. Mobile devices are going to react differently. So everybody's experience is going to be unique to the way that they've configured their devices. So it's not going to be any different than how your system would open any other web-based Microsoft Word document or your other devices. So that's really an end user experience. It's kind of hard to generalize that on a web-based platform. So,
and I understand that, Don. I remember that last year there was a separate like button kind of created for that. Like there was the verbiage, and then click here, and there was a button. And I think that's what made it a lot easier last year. I know it's just only criticism, but it's just where I received several phone calls, and I have to go ahead and kind of direct the veterans to go here instead of here, because they're looking for that big red button that you guys posted on last year, and it's not there. It's within the verbiage. And when I use VoiceOver, let's say right now I'm on my phone, so I'm using VoiceOver, and it skips right over. It mentions click here, but it skips right over it. And that most of us are trained on Apple products, and iPhone products or iPads. And maybe that's just the mobile version. I'm not quite sure, but
Okay.
yeah, no, I'm capturing all of this because it's too easy, and it's just a process for us to go back and embed in front of the additional links an easier landing button, and then we'll make sure that what's embedded in there is obviously the Word document. We'll try to trigger an auto. So I'll play with the mobile with the webmaster and with Tim, and we'll come up with a solution to make navigation easier. This is important stuff, and I really appreciate you bringing it to our attention, sir.
No, I greatly appreciate it. It's just like I mentioned, I had some phone calls, and even myself navigating, I'm like, oh wow, I can't find the button. I can't find it. It says click here, and while using at least the VoiceOver in Apple, it's not landing on that click here. Like I have to use my residual vision that I have and try to find that click here and hit it, and it doesn't do anything for me. But I did find another way to get to it and download that PDF that has the convention letter, and that's how I was able to basically get to that letter itself. And I
Yeah,
just downloaded it on my system, and then I just forward it to any veteran that's asking for it.
No, I'm going to try to replicate everything. And again, we'll try to turn this around in the next 24 hours. And then I'll probably reach out to you and ask you to test drive the solution, just to make sure that you're not, that we're able to resolve it. So this is perfect.
Okay, sounds great. Thank you so much.
No, thank you. I see Paul Mims, looked like he went off of mute. I didn't know if Paul, did you have something or did Paul drop? There's Paul back on mute. I'm trying to look.
I don't see.
Yeah,
Paul.
Paul's, yeah, he's still there. He's just on mute.
Okay, there I am. Okay.
There you are.
Okay, only thing I was gonna do was a comment. I get to welcome for the first time ever, I get to welcome the BVA to at least what is now my home state of Missouri. And even though I live in Kansas City on the far side of the state, my Chiefs used to beat their football team, so we have a relationship. But I hope all of you dig into this convention and enjoy yourselves while you're here, and go home with some fond memories of BVA and of St. Louis.
Paul, it's Don. I thought that we were all coming to your house Saturday.
You can come if you want.
Yeah, we're having a barbecue. Everybody's
We're gonna
coming.
barbecue at Mim's house.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Mims Manor. Yeah, that's right.
Hopefully
right.
we answered a bunch of the questions, but I know.
And I
we're
just
gonna
want
be
to
very
open
curious.
up for anybody that might be struggling for the raise hand feature. We can do a quick open mic pass if you're okay with that.
Yes.
So if anybody was struggling with that and you want to unmute, I'll try to see who unmutes first.
Currently unmuted.
And there's Mr. Miranda.
As new window.
This is Eduardo again.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I know that in Washington, D.C., we had an event scheduled on Saturday. That's not going to happen this year.
Currently, that is not happening. No.
And Big Daddy.
This is Sheldon McKinney out of Texas.
No, this is Big Daddy, Sheldon. Stop it. You gotta go by your handle, man.
Sheldon, I love your daughter. She's so sweet.
Thank you. A quick question: the off-site trips. What's the price tag on those, and when you have to register for those?
The off-site trips you can register for now. They're on the website. It's $5 per person per trip.
Okay. Okay. That's it.
That was easy.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There is somebody else who unmuted. Bat I 17.
Yeah, this is Michelle in South Dakota.
Hi.
I'm kind of new to BVA, and if I come, this will be my first convention, and my husband will be driving me, but he works virtually, so he's planning on working during the convention. Do I need to register him, or how does that work?
If he is not attending any of the functions, you do not have to register him. So things like the president's reception, the Father Carol luncheon, if he's not attending any of those, you would not have to register him. If he is planning on attending, you would have to register him.
And what about the offsites in the evenings?
The offsites, yes, then you would have to register him for the offsites. And if you want, Michelle, I can kind of go through that with you. If you want to give me a call, my number is on there. I can give it to you now. And
Hold on,
I can
let me hit record on my Victor.
Sure.
Okay, tell me your number.
It's 202-371-8880, extension 304.
And this is Meredith.
It is, yes. So I can go over all of that with you.
Great. Okay, I will try to give you a call. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, area code 901.
901.
That's
This is
you.
this is Chaplain Henry Harding.
How
What
you
time-
doing, Chaplain?
I'm doing good. Last year I opened, but this year I want to know what time is the boat ride.
The boat ride is, well, we leave the hotel at 6 o'clock. So we'll meet in the lobby at 6 o'clock, and then the boat takes off at 7:30, Teresa? 7 o'clock. So meet in the lobby at 6 p.m.
Okay, that's fine with me. I just,
And bring your wife.
Carlos, Mr. Pere.
Yes, one last question. Will the rates be the same Saturday and Sunday, or it stops at a certain date?
Are you talking about the hotel rates?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So
Yes.
that ends, Carlos, I believe on the 19th. So that
Okay,
would
so
be
that's
Saturday.
I thought they gave us 3 days before and after for those rates.
I want to double check that.
Contract, okay.
Just because, but yeah, to Teresa's point, according to the contract, it is 3 days prior, 3 days after, but I just want to verify that with them because there has been some stuff with the booking.
Okay.
Okay, not a problem. Just want to make sure. All right.
And let me know,
Thank you.
Carlos, because what we can also do is if you are planning on staying, we can get your information and send it over to the hotel and just send them a reminder, please make sure he gets these rates accordingly.
Okay, yeah, I usually fly out on Sunday. I'm not a Friday or Saturday.
Right.
I'm not crazy enough to get into that whole hustle and bustle on Fridays and Saturdays. It seems like
Mhm.
Sunday tends to be like,
Mhm.
a slower day to fly out. So that's why I'm asking. But thank
Yeah,
you.
and if that is the case, when you make your reservation, ask them, can you get this 126 rate? If they tell you no, then you need to contact me and I will call the hotel.
Okay, will do. Thank you so much, Meredith.
You're welcome.
Yeah, because right now, Mayor, they're tracking it from the 10th to the 19th. So
Yeah, and because we've had some problems with the reservation line, I don't entirely trust that. So I would
Yep.
just like to know the specific people because they asked that I kind of collect that information and give them the names so that they don't do that.
yep, sounds like a plan. Too good.
Okay.
All right, Stephen Butler, this is your second go round. You better
This
make it
is
a good one.
This is just a little point of housekeeping for Meredith. Meredith,
Yes.
boats and ships do not take off. They push off. They shove
There
off.
you go.
Okay, my bad. Thank you for that. I always learn something from you.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but
That's
thank you for
good.
doing this today.
That's good.
All right, Chaplain, you're unmuted again. Did you have another question or comment, sir?
no, I didn't have one. I just wanted to let everybody know that it was great in Washington and we're gonna have a ball in St. Louis.
Thank you for that, sir.
Currently on mute. Oh, yes. This is Yannicka Trent, and I am definitely hoping so. I am looking forward to a lot of dancing.
Yannicka, be careful what you ask for with some of us.
Most likely dancing. Most likely, lots of dancing. For sure.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yannicka, will you be bringing your new service dog?
I will. He will definitely be with me in the Bow Wow room.
Yay!
hey,
That's
Meredith.
awesome.
Yes, Trace.
Yeah, last year on the hotel, there was a bit of confusion. People got kind of spun up that they had the $50 or $100, I can't remember what it was, the daily buffer for drinking in a room and stuff like that. Is that going to happen again this year? And
I have been told no.
okay.
Because I know that happened to you last year and it happened to a couple of other people where they kind of front charged you.
Yeah.
And so if God forbid, if that happens, we will just make sure it doesn't happen. So I will, we'll confirm that with Colin.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Going once, going twice, going 3 times. I don't see anybody else just for your Daniel Sterling, yeah.
It's Dan Strong in Red Wing, Minnesota, the Minnesota region. And I'd like to know if there is a the guide dog users group, if they have a separate meeting place, or is it at the Bow Wow room or?
There is a separate, a meeting for the, for the guide dogs, dog handlers. It is not in the Bow Wow room. It is currently, and again, we'll be posting where everything is, but it is currently, I will tell you what room that is in. You can take another question, Don, if you want.
Yeah,
while I
you
just
don't,
look at
I
the-
don't think Dan needs that specificity, but Dan, there is going to be a session for the dog handlers. If you were at last year's where everybody can get together, that'll be on the schedule of events that'll be going public. So it'll be there and we'll make sure while you're at the hotel, that information will be at the Bow Wow Lounge and everybody else will have it. We'll make sure you get there, sir.
I can,
It'll be
I can give you that information right now, if you want.
Okay.
it. So that meeting will be taking place on Wednesday from 5:30 to 6:30 in Majestic A. But we will, again, as Don stated, we will be posting that as well, but that is in a separate room. The Bow Wow Lounge is not a meeting room.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So everyone, just to recap, this is the first of 4 types of sessions that we'll be doing for preparations for the 70th National Convention. The next one will occur at the same time with the same Zoom information on June 20th and 27th. Those will focus specifically on bylaw amendments. So our chair of our membership and bylaws committee will be heading that one up with us here on staff doing the air traffic control like we have been. And then the final town hall session is going to be on July 11th, that we will do this type of conversation again. So if you know anyone that's still thinking or have not made that decision, if they'll be attending, or as all of the information goes public facing, come back on, join us on the 11th, and we'll have this wonderful conversation to do this overview of it. A couple other things that will be coming up later part of July, beginning of August, we'll be starting a series of very special educational sessions with our sponsors. And they'll be talking about a lot of devices that they'll be bringing over to the conventions to show us. So this is going to be a way for us to learn more about the sponsors, more about what's going to be there at the convention, as well as highlighting a couple of our special sponsors like Way Around that's providing indoor navigation. So we'll be having a special session with them in that late July, early August timeframe to go and learn how to use Way Around. So when we get to the convention site, we could start using Way Around right when we walk in those front doors, as well as with a couple of our other sponsors to learn how their devices use. And so when we go to the expo hall, we'll know what to look for and what to ask for, because we would have learned a little bit, and then we'll be able to get hands on. Other upcoming things, as always, Wednesdays, we got our weekly Wednesday webinars. Tomorrow we'll be featuring OrCam. Next Wednesday, we'll be featuring the wonderful team from Vispero to talk about Fusion and JAWS. And later on in the month, we got some fantastic people coming on board to talk to us about adaptive hunting scopes, as well as some other cool things coming up, like a robotic guide dog. I can't wait for that one to be coming up at the end of this month, beginning of next month. So that's just some stuff we got coming up for our weekly Wednesday webinars, and I appreciate everyone coming on board and joining us for this first town hall. So with that, I'd like to bid everyone adieu.
Adieu. Au revoir. Adios.
Oh, Wiedersehen.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Just bye.
Hey, Don.